Right now, I'm in two places at once, and that's the least crazy thing about what's happening. My hands are covered in surgical gloves, stitching up a man's broken arm in the bright white operating room of our city hospital. The beep of machines fills the air, and I can smell the clean scent of antiseptic. But at the same time, I'm sitting in a dark wooden room with walls covered in tapestries, wearing a long dress that drags on the floor. I can smell candles and roses, and feel a cool metal locket hanging around my neck. The worst part? The man on my operating table, my colleague Ryan, who I'd been in love with for a year, is also standing in that old room, wearing clothes from hundreds of years ago. He's holding the hand of a woman who looks just like me, and he's telling her he'll marry her if she shows him where the heart of the nation is hidden. I blink hard, and suddenly I'm only in the operating room again. Ryan's arm is fixed, and he's looking up at me with his warm smile. Maya? You okay? You looked like you were a million miles away. I stare at him. His eyes are the same color as the man in the old room. His voice sounds exactly the same. But that can't be possible. The man in the past was called Elias, and he lived in the 1700s. I touch the locket around my own neck. It was my grandma's, and I've worn it every day since she died last month. It's warm to the touch, even though I've been wearing gloves this whole time. How can I be in two times at once? And why is Ryan the same person as a man who lived 300 years ago? I work as a surgeon at City General. It's my whole life. I love fixing things, making people better. But I've always had a secret. Sometimes I see things that aren't there. Not just little things, full scenes, like I'm watching a movie in my head. Grandma used to say it ran in our family, that we could feel the threads that tie all time together. I always thought she was just telling stories. Then I found the locket in her jewelry box after she passed. It's silver with a heart shape on the front, and when I opened it, there were two tiny portraits inside, a woman who looks just like me, and a man who looks just like Ryan. The moment I put it on, I felt dizzy, and then I was in that old room with the tapestries. The woman's name is Catherine. She's a noblewoman from the 1700s, and she lives in a big house on land that's now part of our city. When I'm linked to her, I can see what she sees, feel what she feels. And she can feel me too. We've talked in our heads, even though we're 300 years apart. I don't know who you are, she said to me the first time we could communicate. But you look just like me, and I can feel you in my mind like we're two parts of the same thing. I'm you, but from later, I told her, and she didn't even question it. People back then believed in magic more than we do now. Ryan and I have worked together for 3 years. He's a great doctor, kind, smart, always willing to stay late to help with tough cases. We started dating 6 months ago, and I thought we were perfect together. He even helped me research the locket, going to libraries and talking to history experts to find out who Catherine was. She was a big deal back then, he told me one night, as we sat on my couch looking at old books. They say she had a secret that could have changed the whole country. But then she disappeared, like she was never even there. I felt a twist in my gut. When I'm linked to Catherine, she's very much alive. She's fighting for her people, the farmers and workers who are treated badly by the nobles. And she's in love with Elias, the man who leads the fight for change. He says we can build a new nation together, Catherine told me in my mind that same night. A place where everyone is equal, no matter who their family is. He wants me to show him where my family hides the heart of the nation, a treasure that can give whoever holds it the power to make their dreams real. I told Ryan about what Catherine said. His eyes lit up like he'd found exactly what he was looking for. That must be the artifact everyone talks about, he said, leaning forward. If we could find it now, we could use its power to help so many people, cure diseases, end hunger, fix everything that's wrong with the world. It sounded good. Too good, maybe. But I wanted to believe him, I wanted to believe we could do something amazing together. Then the first impossible thing happened. I was linked to Catherine again, watching her walk through her family's secret tunnels with Elias. They stopped in front of a wall with a carving of the same heart shape as my locket. This is it, Catherine said, her voice full of hope. My family has guarded this place for generations. When we open it, everything will change. Elias put his hand on the carving, and at that exact second, in my own time, Ryan put his hand on the same heart shape on my locket. I felt a jolt go through both of us, and the wall in Catherine's time started to glow. That's how it works, Ryan said, looking at me with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. We need both of them, you and her, to open it. Because you're the same person, just indifferent to Meglo. I pulled back from him. What are you talking about? We're not the same person. But as I looked at his face, and thought about Elias's face in the past, I started to wonder. The way they move, the way they talk, it's exactly the same. And when I'm linked to Catherine, I can feel that she feels the same way about Elias as I do about Ryan. That's when I noticed something I'd missed before. The date on the old book Ryan showed me, it said Catherine disappeared the exact same day the artifact was supposed to have been taken. And the history expert Ryan talked to? When I called her later, she said she'd never met him. I started to watch Ryan more carefully. When he thought I wasn't looking, he'd take out his phone and type messages to someone, but he'd always turn the screen away. And sometimes, when I was linked to Catherine, I'd see Elias slip away to talk to someone in secret too. One night, I pretended to be asleep while Ryan stayed late working on his laptop. When he thought I was out, he opened a file with a title that made my blood run cold, Eliminating Catherine, Step by Step. I didn't say anything to Ryan. I just kept wearing the locket, kept linking to Catherine, and waited to find out what he was really planning. Catherine told me Elias was in a hurry now. He says we have to get the artifact soon, she said, her voice tight with worry. He says if we don't, the nobles will find it first and use it to keep everyone down forever. But I could feel something was wrong with her too, she was hiding something from me. Something about why her family guards the artifact, something about what it really does. I decided to do my own research. I went to the city's oldest museum, where they have things from the 1700s on display. There was a whole room about the revolution Catherine was part of, but there was almost nothing about her. Just a small note that said "noble woman who may have helped the cause." Then I found a diary hidden behind a display case. It was old and falling apart, but I could read some of the pages. It was written by one of Catherine's servants. The lady says the heart isn't a treasure, it's a lock. It keeps something dangerous from getting out. She's afraid of what Elias will do if he finds it. She says he's not who he says he is, that he's been here before, and other times, taking things that don't belong to him. My hand shook as I read it. I ran back to the hospital to find Ryan, but he wasn't in his office. His laptop was open on his desk, and I could see the screen from the doorway. He was looking at a map that showed both Catherine's house from the past and our hospital from now. They're built on the exact same spot. And there was a note at the top of the map: once the artifact is mine, I'll erase Catherine from history. Without her, no one will know how to stop me. Then I'll use its power to control time itself, make every world exactly how I want it to be. I backed away quietly, but my foot hit a chair and made a noise. Ryan turned around, and the warm smile I knew was gone, replaced by a look that was cold and hard. So you found out, he said, standing up slowly. I was hoping I'd have more time to get you on my side. You're smart, Maya, we could have done great things together. Who are you really? I asked, my voice stronger than I felt. He walked over to the window and looked out at the city. My name is Ryan, and Elias, and a dozen other names in a dozen other times. I was born with the ability to move through time, but it takes a lot of energy. The artifact gives me all the power I need. Catherine's family has guarded it for centuries, but she's weak, she thinks love is more important than power. And you're just like her. You'd rather fix people than control them. That's not a bad thing, I said. It is if you want to change the world, he shot back. I've seen how things go wrong in every time I've been to. Wars, poverty, sickness, it doesn't have to be that way. With the artifact, I can make sure everything is perfect. No more pain, no more suffering, just order. Order isn't the same as happiness, I said. And what about Catherine? You're going to make her disappear, erase every memory of her, every good thing she did. He shrugged. She's just one person. A small price to pay for a perfect world. That's when the link hit me hard, harder than ever before. I was standing in Catherine's secret tunnel again, and Elias was there with her. But this time, I could speak out loud through her mouth. He's lying to you, I said, my voice coming out of Catherine's lips. He's not going to build a new nation, he's going to take the artifact and make you disappear. Elias's face twisted with anger, the same way Ryan's face had just twisted in my time. "You've been talking to her this whole time," he said to Catherine. "I should have known you'd be too weak to keep a secret." He pulled out a small knife and took a step forward. At the same time, in my time, Ryan pulled out a syringe from his pocket and pointed it at me. "I'm sorry it has to be this way," they both said at the exact same moment. I acted fast. In my time, I ducked under Ryan's arm and ran for the door. In Catherine's time, I made her turn and run down the tunnel. We were both moving at the same speed, our minds working as one. I could feel Catherine's fear mixing with my own, but also her strength. She knew these tunnels better than anyone. She led us through twists and turns I'd never seen before, while I used what I knew about the building's layout now to find shortcuts. "Where are we going?" I asked her in our minds. "To the heart room," she said. "The only way to stop him is to understand what the artifact really is." My family never told me the whole truth, but I think it's time I found out. In my time, I'd run out of the hospital and was heading to the old part of the city where Catherine's house used to be. Ryan was chasing me, shouting my name, but I didn't look back. I could hear his footsteps behind me, just like I could hear Elias's footsteps behind Catherine in the past. We reached the heart room at the same time, Catherine in her time, me in mine. It's a small room under where the hospital's emergency department is now. The walls are covered in carvings of hearts and clocks, and in the center of the room is a stone box with the same heart shape as my lockpaw. Catherine and I both put our hands on the box at the same moment. Ryan and Elias burst into the room in their own times, and then something amazing happened. All four of us were suddenly in the same room, standing together in a space that felt like both now and then. The stone box started to glow, and it opened by itself. Inside wasn't gold or jewels, it was a small, clear crystal that looked like it was made of starlight. "This is it," Ryan/Elias said, reaching for the crystal. "With this, I can fix everything." But Catherine stepped in front of him. "You don't know what it does," she said, her voice strong. "My family guarded it because it doesn't give you power to control things, it gives you power to see things. To see every choice you've ever made, and every consequence that comes from them." That's the first twist. The artifact isn't a weapon or a tool for control, it's a mirror that shows you the truth of your actions. The crystal started to glow brighter, and images appeared all around us. We could see every time Ryan/Elias had traveled through time, every place he'd been, every person he'd used, everything he'd taken. We saw him in ancient Egypt, telling a pharaoh he could bring rain if he was given the kingdom's most precious jewel. We saw him in medieval Europe, promising a queen he'd protect her people if she gave him control of her armies. We saw him in the future, alone in a world he'd fixed, a world where no one could make choices, no one could love, no one could feel anything at all. "I was trying to help," he said, but his voice was weak now. "I thought if I controlled everything, I could keep people from hurting each other." "But you hurt them more," I said, stepping forward. "You took away their freedom, and freedom is what makes us human." The images kept playing, and we saw something else. We saw that Catherine and I aren't just lookalikes, we're part of the same family line, and we share a special connection to time. But Ryan/Elias isn't just one person moving through time, he's a collection of choices, made over and over again, all leading to the same place, trying to control things he can't. That's the second twist. Ryan/Elias isn't a time traveler in the way we thought, he's a time loop person, forced to keep making the same choices until he learns from his mistakes. Every time he tries to take the artifact, he ends up back at the start, having to do it all again. "He's been doing this for hundreds of years," Catherine said, looking at him with sadness in her eyes. "Every time he thinks he'll get it right this time, every time he ends up hurting people." The crystal showed us one more thing, why Catherine disappeared from history. It wasn't because Ryan/Elias erased her, it was because she chose to make herself invisible. She used the crystal's power to hide her story so Ryan/Elias couldn't find it and use it against her. She wanted to make sure that one day, someone from her family, me, would find the truth and help him break the loop. "That's why I could never find any records of her," I said, looking at Ryan. "She hid them to protect me, to protect all of us." Ryan fell to his knees, looking at the images around him. "I didn't know," he said, tears streaming down his face. "I thought I was saving people, but I was just hurting them over and over again." The crystal kept showing us more, all the times Ryan had tried this before. Every single time, he pretended to love Catherine or me to get close to the artifact. Every single time, he'd ended up alone, back at the start of his journey, with no memory of what he'd done wrong. "Why can't you remember?" I asked, walking over to him. He looked up at me, his eyes full of pain. "The loop wipes my memory every time I fail," he said. "I only know that I need the artifact to make things right, I just can't remember why I keep failing." Catherine sat down beside him. "Because you keep thinking the answer is control," she said softly. "My family knew about the loop too. They said the only way to break it is to stop trying to take the artifact, and start trying to give something back." The room around us started to shift, walls of stone turning to walls of glass, candles turning to fluorescent lights. We were moving between times again, but this time it felt calm, like floating on water instead of being pulled by a current. "I want to stop," Ryan said, standing up. "I'm tired of hurting people. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over." But then his face hardened again, just for a second. "But what if I'm right? What if I could make the world better if I just had the power?" That's when the crystal did something we didn't expect. It split into two pieces, one floating to me, one floating to Catherine. "It's giving us a choice," I said, holding my piece in my hand. It felt warm and alive, like it was beating like a heart. "We can either let him take it and keep the loop going, or we can use our pieces to change things." Catherine looked at her piece, then at Ryan. "I loved you," she said to him. "Every time you came back, even though I didn't remember why, I loved you. Because deep down, I think you're a good person who's lost his way." "I love you too," I said to Ryan in our time. "That's why I can't let you keep doing this. We have to help you break the loop, for real this time." We decided to take Ryan to the one place that exists in both times, a hill on the edge of the city where Catherine used to watch the sunset, and where I go to clear my head when things get hard. In Catherine's time, the hill is covered in wild flowers, and you can see the whole city spread out below, a mix of wooden houses and stone castles. In my time, it's a park with tall buildings all around, but the view of the sunset is just as beautiful. When we got there, all four of us were together again, Catherine in her long dress, me in my scrubs, Ryan in both his modern clothes and his old-fashioned coat. The two pieces of the crystal started to glow, and the sunset around us turned every color imaginable: pink, purple, gold, blue, like all the colors of time were mixing together. This is the big set piece. The sky looks like it's on fire, but it's not hot or scary. It's peaceful, like watching paint spread across water. We can see images of every moment that matters playing out in the colors: Catherine helping the poor in her time, me saving lives in the hospital, Ryan trying to do good in every time he's been to. "Look," Catherine said, pointing up at the sky. We could see a new image forming: Ryan in a time we'd never seen before, helping people build houses, teaching kids to read, working with others instead of trying to control them. "That's what you could be," I said to him. "Not someone who takes power, someone who shares it." Ryan reached out and took both pieces of the crystal from us. When his hands touched them, they merged back into one, and the sky exploded with light. Then everything went quiet, and we were just three people sitting on a hill watching the sun go down. No more shifting between times, no more glowing crystal. The crystal was gone. In its place was a small seed, which Ryan planted in the ground right where we were sitting. "That's the third twist," Catherine said, smiling for the first time in a long time. The artifact wasn't the crystal, it was the choice. Every time Ryan chose to take it, it turned into a crystal that trapped him in the loop. But this time, when he chose to give it back, it turned into something that could grow. When we stood up, Catherine started to fade. "My time is done here," she said, but she didn't look sad. "Now that the loop is broken, I can go back to my life and do what I was meant to do. I'll lead the revolution, not with power, but with kindness. We'll build a nation where everyone has a voice. I'll make sure people know about you," I promised her. "I'll make sure your story is never hidden again." She nodded, then she was gone, but I could feel her in my heart, like a warm hand holding mine. Ryan and I sat on the hill for a long time, watching the stars come out. "I have to go," he said finally. "The loop is broken, but I still have work to do. I need to go back to all the times I've been and fix the things I broke. I can't travel through time like I used to, not with the artifact gone, but I can go to each time once and make things right. Will I see you again? I asked, and I could feel tears in my eyes. He reached out and touched my face. His hand felt solid, real, not like someone from another time at all. You will, he said. Not as Ryan the doctor, or Elias the revolutionary. But as someone new, someone who's learned to help instead of hurt. And when I'm done fixing my mistakes, I'll come back here, to this hill, and we'll watch the sunset together again. He stood up and started to walk away, then turned back one more time. Thank you, he said. Both of you. You showed me that the best way to change the world isn't to control it, it's to love it. Then he was gone too, but I knew he'd keep his promise. A month later, I quit my job at the hospital, not because I don't love being a surgeon, but because I have something bigger to do. I started a foundation to study the connection between our family and time. We're not looking for power or ways to travel, we're looking for ways to help people understand how their choices affect not just now, but the future and the past too. I found Catherine's diary in the museum again, and this time when I opened it, all the pages were full, every word clear and easy to read. I had it published, and now her story is taught in schools. People know about the noble woman who led a revolution with kindness, who chose to build up instead of tear down. I go to the hill every night to watch the sunset. The seed Ryan planted has grown into a small tree with leaves that change color every minute, green in spring, yellow in summer, orange in fall, white in winter. It's like it's showing us all the times at once. One night, as I'm sitting there, I feel someone sit down beside me. I turn, and there's a man I've never met before, but I know him immediately. His eyes are the same color as Ryan's and Elias, but they're warm now, full of light. Hi, he says, smiling. I'm Alex. I just moved to the city, and I heard this is the best place to watch the sunset. I smile back, because I know the truth. He's Ryan, back to start a new life, the one he was meant to have all along. He doesn't remember the loop, doesn't remember being Elias or Ryan the doctor. But he has the same kind heart, the same desire to help people. We sit there together, watching the sun go down, and I don't tell him about the past. Some stories are better left for when the time is right. But I touch the locket around my neck, it's still warm, still connected to Catherine. And I know that somewhere in the past, she's watching her own sunset, leading her people to a better future. 6 months later, I'm giving a speech at the Foundation's first big event. We're announcing that we've found other families with the same connection to time, families who can feel the threads that tie everything together. We're going to work with them to help people make better choices, to build a world where no one feels like they have to control things to be safe. After my speech, an old woman comes up to me. She's holding a locket that looks just like mine, silver with a heart shape on the front. My grandmother gave this to me, she says. She said one day, a woman who looks just like me would start something important, and I should give this to her. She said the loop is broken, but the work is just beginning. I open the locket, and inside are 2 portraits, one of Catherine and Elias, happy together in her time, and one of me and Alex, sitting on the hill watching the sunset. That's the final reveal. The loop wasn't just Ryan's, it was all of ours. Every time someone tried to take power instead of share it, we all got trapped in the same cycle of hurt and control. But when Catherine and I chose love over fear, when Ryan chose to change instead of repeat, we broke the loop for everyone. The lockets aren't just for our family, they're for everyone who wants to be part of building a better world. They're a reminder that we're all connected, across time and space, and that every choice we make matters. I look out at the crowd, and I see Alex standing in the back, smiling at me. I see Catherine's face in the crowd too, not as a ghost, but as a young woman who looks just like her, here to learn about her ancestor and help carry on her work. I hold up the 2 lockets, mine and the old woman's, and they start to glow. The whole room fills with warm light, and everyone can feel it, the connection between us all, the thread that ties every time and every person together. We're not just people from different times, I say to the crowd. We're all part of the same story, and it's up to us to make it a good one. 6 months after the foundation opened. Everything is going well. We brought together 20 families from around the world who share our connection to time. We hold workshops where people learn to feel the threads between past, present, and future, not to change things, but to understand how their choices affect everyone else. Alex and I are together now. He works as a teacher at a local school, and he brings his students to the foundation to learn about history and how we can build a better future. He still doesn't remember his past lives, but he says he feels like he's done this work before, like he's been waiting for it his whole life. Then one day, a man comes to the foundation. He's wearing a suit that looks like it's from 100 years ago, but he has a phone in his pocket that's more advanced than anything I've ever seen. "My name is Marcus," he says, walking into my office without knocking. "I'm from the future, and I need your help." I stand up, ready to call security, but he holds up his hands. "I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm here because something is wrong. The loop you broke, it's not gone. It's just gotten bigger, and it's spreading to every time and every place." He pulls out a small device that looks like a crystal, but it's dark and cold, nothing like the warm one we had before. "This is what's causing it," he says. "It's a shadow artifact, the opposite of what you had. Instead of showing people the truth of their choices, it makes them see only what they want to see. It makes them think the only way to be safe is to control everything around them." I think about Ryan, about how he thought he was doing good by trying to control things. "How did this happen?" I ask. Marcus sits down, looking tired. "After you broke the original loop, some people in the future got scared. They saw how connected everything is, and they thought it was dangerous. They wanted to build something that would protect people by keeping them separate, by making them think they're alone, that they have to fight for themselves. That's when I notice something. The symbol on his device is the same heart shape as our lockets, but it's upside down." "They took your family's symbol and twisted it," I say quietly. He nods. "And they're spreading the shadow artifact through time. They're going to every era, making people believe they have to choose between themselves and everyone else. If they succeed, the world will go back to being broken, maybe even worse than before." Marcus says the shadow artifact is being hidden in 3 places across time, one in the past, one now, one in the future. We need to find all 3 and destroy them before they can spread their influence any further. "I can't do this alone," he says. "I need people who understand the connection between times, people like you and your family." I call Catherine in my mind, like I always do. She's doing well in her time, the revolution is going smoothly, and she's helping build schools and hospitals for everyone, not just the rich. "I feel it too," she says to me. "People are starting to get scared again, to turn on each other. Something is pulling them away from the connection we built." Alex walks into the office just then. He looks at Marcus, and his face gets serious, like something is waking up inside him. "I know what we have to do," he says. "I can feel it. We have to go to each time, find the shadow artifact, and show people that being connected is stronger than being separate." But I'm worried. Every time we've dealt with artifacts before, there have been consequences. What if we make things worse? I ask. Marcus shakes his head. "We don't have a choice. If we don't act now, the shadow will cover everything, and no one will ever feel connected again. We decide to split up. Catherine will go to the past to find the first shadow artifact. I'll stay in the present to find the second. Marcus will take Alex to the future to find the third. Be careful," I say to Alex as he gets ready to leave with Marcus. "I don't want to lose a third." He takes my hand and squeezes it. "You won't. I'll be back, I promise. And this time I think I'll remember everything." I start looking for the present-day shadow artifact. Marcus says it's hidden somewhere in our city, in a place that's important to both Catherine's time and mine. I think of the hill where we broke the loop, where Ryan planted the seed that grew into the colorful tree. When I get there, I see that something is wrong. The tree's leaves are turning dark, like they're dying. And under the tree, there's a small hole in the ground where something has been buried. I dig it up, and there it is, the shadow artifact. It's cold to the touch, and when I hold it, I start to feel scared and alone. I can hear voices in my head telling me that no one can be trusted, that I have to take care of myself and no one else. I close my eyes and think of Catherine, of Alex, of all the people we've helped. I think of the warm crystal we had before, of the connection we all share. Slowly, the cold feeling goes away, and the shadow artifact starts to glow, not dark and scary, but soft and warm, like it's waking up. At the same time, I feel Catherine in my mind. "I found it," she says. It was hidden in my family's old castle. At first, it made me think I had to lead the revolution alone, that no one else could be trusted. But then I thought of you, of how we worked together, and it started to change. We both hold our artifacts and focus on the connection between us. The dark crystals start to break apart, turning into small, bright stones, just like the seed Ryan planted. We bury them in the ground in our own times, and new plants start to grow immediately, plants with flowers that glow like stars. A week later, Marcus and Alex come back from the future. But something is different about Alex. His eyes are clear, and he's looking at me like he knows exactly who I am. I remember, he says, walking over to me and taking my face in his hands. I remember being Elias, being Ryan, being all the people I was before. I remember every choice I made, every mistake I made, every good thing I tried to do. He tells us what happened in the future. The shadow artifact was hidden in a big building where people went to learn about the past, but the artifact was making them forget everything that connected them to history. At first, I couldn't remember anything, Alex says. But then I saw the tree you planted. It's still there in the future, bigger than ever, with branches that reach up to the stars. And when I touched it, everything came back to me. He holds up a small, bright stone, the third artifact, changed just like ours. We buried it next to the tree in the future, he says. Now it's growing into a whole forest, with trees that connect every time together. Marcus smiles, the first real smile I've seen from him. You did it, he says. You didn't just destroy the shadow artifacts, you turned them into something good. You showed that even darkness can become light if you give it a chance. We decide to bring everyone together, all the families from our foundation, Catherine and her people from the past, and some of Marcus's friends from the future. We meet on the hill where it all started, and something amazing happens. For the first time ever, people from every time are able to be in the same place at the same time. The hill is covered in the glowing plants we grew from the changed artifacts. The sky above us is filled with colors from every era, the purple of Catherine's sunsets, the blue of our city lights, the silver of the future stars. Catherine stands up to speak first. When I started fighting for change, I thought I had to be strong and alone, she says, her voice carrying to everyone there. But then I met Maya, and I learned that being strong means letting people help you. Being strong means connecting to others. Alex stands up next. I spent so many years trying to fix things by myself, he says. I thought I had to control everything to make it right. But the truth is, we fix things by working together, by sharing our strength, our love, our stories. I stand up last. We all think time is a line, past, present, future, one after another, I say. But it's not. It's a web, and we're all connected in it. Every choice we make touches every other part of the web. We can choose to pull people apart, or we can choose to bring them together. As I speak, all the glowing plants start to light up at once. The web of time becomes visible in the air above us, thousands of bright threads connecting every person, every place, every moment. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Just as we're all looking up at the web, a woman appears in the middle of our group. She's from the future, and she looks like she's been crying. I'm the one who helped build the shadow artifacts, she says, her voice shaking. I was scared that if everyone was connected, we'd lose our individuality, our freedom. I thought keeping people separate would protect them. I walk over to her and take her hand. We all get scared sometimes, I say. But being connected doesn't mean losing who you are, it means sharing who you are with others. Catherine walks over too, and takes her other hand. You made a mistake, she says gently. But mistakes don't have to be the end of things. They can be the start of something better. The woman looks up at the web of time, and tears of joy start to run down her face. I see it now, she says. I see how connected we all are. I see how much better things can be. She pulls out a small device, the last piece of the shadow artifact, the one that was controlling all the others. She holds it up to the web, and it glows bright white. Then it dissolves into thousands of tiny lights, which fly up and become part of the web, making it even brighter. 1 month after the gathering. The web of time is now visible to everyone, not just us, but to anyone who takes a moment to look. You can see it in the way a child's laugh makes people smile across the street. You can see it in the way a farmer's hard work feeds people thousands of miles away. You can see it in the way stories from the past help us make better choices now. Alex and I are planning to get married, not just in our time, but in Catherine's time too. We'll have 2 weddings, connected by the web, so everyone we love can be there. Catherine is going to marry her friend Thomas, a farmer who helped lead the revolution with her. He's kind and strong, and he makes her happy in a way Elias never could. One night, I'm sitting in my office looking at the locket when it starts to glow brighter than ever before. Catherine appears next to me, not just in my mind, but in person. "Grandma sent us a message," she says, holding up her own locket. I look down at mine, and the portraits inside have changed. The old ones are still there, but now there's a new one, a picture of all of us, from every time, standing together on the hill. And next to it is a note written in Grandma's handwriting. The lockets don't just connect us to each other, they connect us to every person who has ever wanted to make the world better. You think you broke the loop and fixed the web, but really, you just woke up to what was always there. We've been working together across time all along, every kind act, every brave choice, every moment of connection has been part of the plan. You're not the first ones to do this, and you won't be the last. That's the final secret, our family didn't just inherit a connection to time. We're part of a group that's been working across every era to keep the web strong. Grandma was part of it. Catherine's parents were part of it. Marcus's family is part of it. Even Ryan, in all his lives, was part of it, learning and growing until he could help instead of hurt. The day of the wedding is perfect. In Catherine's time, her wedding is held in a field of wild flowers next to the glowing tree. In our time, we're in the same spot, now a beautiful park, with the big tree standing tall in the middle. Through the web, we can see both weddings at once. Catherine wears a dress made of fabric that shimmers like the sunset. I wear a white dress that glows with soft light. Alex wears a suit that looks like it's from both now and then, modern but with touches of the past. As we say our vows, people from every time start to appear, not just our families and friends, but people we've helped, people we've never met but who feel connected to us. The web of time shines above us like a ceiling of stars, and every thread is bright and strong. After the wedding, we all gather on the hill. The woman from the future, her name is Emma, stands up to speak. "I've been working with other people from my time to build something new," she says. "A place where people from every era can come to learn from each other, to share ideas, to help each other solve problems. We're calling it the connection point." Catherine stands up too. "In my time, we're building the same thing," she says. "A school where nobles and farmers can learn together, where we teach children about all the times that came before them." I stand up with them. "And here and now, our foundation is growing into something bigger," I say. "We're opening centers all over the world where people can learn to feel the web, to understand their connection to everyone else." A year later, the connection point is open in every time we can reach. People from the past come to learn about medicine from our time. People from the future come to teach us about ways to take care of the planet. People from now go to help build things in the past and plan for things in the future. Alex and I have a daughter, we name her Grace, after Grandma. When she was born, she was holding a small silver heart in her hand, just like the ones on our lockets. We know she'll be part of the work one day, just like we were, just like Catherine was. One afternoon, we're sitting on the hill with Grace, watching her play under the big tree. Alex takes my hand and looks out at the city. "Sometimes I still can't believe it," he says. "That we're all connected, that every choice matters." I look at Catherine in my mind, she's sitting with Thomas and their son, watching the same sunset from her time. "It's easy to forget," I say. "But then you look around, and you see all the good things we built together. You see how happy people are when they feel connected." Just then, Grace stands up and points at the sky. "Look," she says. "More threads." We look up, and sure enough, new threads are appearing in the web, stretching out to places we've never been before. New times, new worlds, new people who are ready to connect. Emma appears next to us, smiling. "We got a message," she says. "There are other worlds out there, worlds that need help connecting, just like we did. They're calling for us." We spend the next few months getting ready. We gather people from every time who want to help, doctors, teachers, builders, farmers, artists. We don't know what we'll find on these new worlds, but we know we have to go. Before we leave, we go to see Catherine one last time. She's now leading her nation, and it's thriving, people are happy, everyone has what they need, and the connection between past, present, and future is strong. You don't have to go, she says to us. You've done so much already. We know, I say. But that's what connection means, you help when someone needs it. Just like you helped us, just like we helped each other. She hugs us tight. I'll be watching, she says. And I'll be sending help whenever you need it. We're never really apart, we're just in different parts of the web. The day we leave, everyone we know comes to see us off. We're standing on the hill, and the web of time is shining brighter than ever. The ship we're taking looks like it's made of light, it can travel through both space and time, guided by the threads of connection. As we get ready to board, Grandma appears, not as a ghost, but as a young woman, standing next to Catherine's parents and my great-grandparents. We've been waiting for this moment, she says, smiling. You see, the lockets aren't just for our family. They're for everyone who chooses connection over division, love over fear, hope over despair. You thought you were chosen because of who you are, but really, you chose to be part of this work because of what you believe. She holds up her own locket, and it glows with light that spreads to all of ours. The final truth is this: there is no chosen one. There are only chosen choices. Every time someone decides to help instead of hurt, to share instead of take, to connect instead of separate, they become part of this work. They become part of the web. She hands Grace a small silver heart, just like the one she was born with. This isn't just for you, she says to Grace. It's for everyone you'll help, everyone you'll love, everyone you'll connect to. The web grows every time someone makes a kind choice. We travel to the first new world a few months later. It's a beautiful place, but the people there are split into groups that don't talk to each other. They've been fighting for so long they've forgotten how to work together. But we don't try to fix things for them. We just start connecting, sharing our food, our stories, our skills. We build a small garden in the middle of their city, and we plant the glowing seeds from our hill. As the plants grow, people start to stop and look. They start to talk to each other. They start to see the threads that connect them. Alex and I watch from our ship as a group of children from different groups start playing together in the garden. Grace is with them, showing them how to make flowers glow by touching them with their hands. I think we're going to be okay, Alex says, putting his arm around me. I look up at the sky, and I can see the web stretching out from this world to ours, to Catherine's world, to all the worlds we've helped. I can see new threads appearing all the time, as more people make the choice to connect. We still have a lot of work to do. There are more worlds to visit, more people to help, more connections to build. But we're not alone, we have each other, we have our families from every time, and we have all the people who choose to be part of the web. The locket around my neck is warm against my skin. I can feel Catherine in my mind, Emma in the future, Grandma watching over us all. We're all together, even when we're apart. That's the real magic of it all, we're never truly alone. We're all connected, across time and space and everything in between. And as long as we choose to keep those connections strong, the web will keep growing, and the world will keep getting better.